You're going nowhere at the moment. Okay, you're detained until I confirm your name and address.
Under what section am I detained?
I'm going to confirm that shortly, okay?
Just to,
I'm after your name and address.
No, what provision?
Like I've explained.
What provision? What section of what?
Under the counter-terrorism law.
Which section?
I'm obliged to ask for your name and address.
Yeah, but which section?
Which section?
Yeah, I need to know for my personal records, because I keep personal records.
That's fine. I'll refer to my pocket notebook. I'll give you...
The encounter begins with the auditor calmly requesting basic legal clarity after being told he is detained. He repeatedly asks a fundamental question. Under what section am I detained? The officer, however, avoids giving a direct answer and instead continues to demand the auditor's name and address. This immediately raises a red flag, because under UK law, any detention requires the officer to clearly state the legal power being used and the ground for using it. The absence of a clear section creates confusion and undermines the legitimacy of the detention from the very start.
You're filming people.
I'm not filming. I'm not filming them people at all.
I've just stood watching you.
No, I was changing the battery.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm not going to dispute that, but you were stood by a fence line observing people. Have you got a ticket for the match?
For your own sake, in future, if you have press as well, because it's quite a common question for press that we would ask that
you're just using every trick in the book. You want to do this, don't you? Go on, come on, go and do it.
Your name and address.
Go on, do it. Come on.
I don't want to search you. I'm asking for your name and address.
Why do you want my name and address?
Like I've said.
Under what provision do you want my address? Just make it clear to me.
Current counter-terrorism threat.
Yep.
You've been with this group of people all day. You're now on private property.
Yep.
You've disputed the fact that you're filming on private property. It's a massive football fixture. 54,000 people are going to be present. You've not got a ticket. You're on private land.
A camera isn't a device of terrorist purposes.
And you're acting suspiciously.
I'm not. You're just using every trick in the book. You know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. It's cool.
I'm not going any further. I'll give you my grounds.
As the exchange continues, the officer vaguely references counterterrorism law. Without identifying a specific section, the auditor insists on knowing the exact provision for his personal records, which is a lawful and reasonable request. The officer's hesitation demonstrates uncertainty and suggests the power is being invoked reactively rather than based on a well-formed suspicion. This moment highlights how authority can be asserted without clarity, placing the burden on the citizen to push for legal accountability.
So what provision are you enforcing, sir? Just to make it clear. No, what provision?
Like I've explained.
What provision? What section of what?
Under the counter-terrorism law.
Which section?
I'm obliged to ask for your name and address.
Yeah, but which section?
Which section?
Yeah, I need to know for my personal records, because I keep personal records.
That's fine. I'll refer to my pocket notebook and I'll give you a full legislation hit. But whilst we're doing that, you give me your name and address.
But you've got access to PNLD. If you can find a section, find a section, I'll comply with you.
That's fine. Have you got permission off the club to be here? No.
I haven't been asked by the landowner to leave, but
not at the moment you haven't. But obviously this is a football fixture, and we're on behalf of the club.
If you want to do the thing, I'll comply with you. I'm going in a minute anyway, dude.
You're going nowhere at the moment. Okay, you're detained until I confirm your name and address.
Under what section am I detained?
I'm going to confirm that shortly. Okay.
Shortly, because
under the counter-terrorism legislation, you've been acting suspiciously all day around a large group.
Context becomes clearer when it is explained that the auditor was filming outside a football stadium on match day. The officer claims the auditor was observing people near a fence line and behaving suspiciously. However, observing people, standing near a public accessible area, or holding a camera does not constitute reasonable suspicion of terrorism. Section 43 of the Terrorism Act requires reasonable suspicion that the person is a terrorist, not merely that they appear unusual or inconvenient.
Because you don't like me being here.
I've got body-worn footage of you all day in the city centre.
So have I.
Which concerns me slightly.
Why does it concern you?
Because I'm lawfully obliged to take my video capture. You've said you press, you've got no press badge.
What do you want, my name and address, yeah?
You're lovely, yeah. Driving licence, any ID.
Just to... And
can you confirm which press agency you're working for, or you're freelance?
Just to... which section am I providing these to you?
I will give you the section, like I've said. At the minute,
I'm detained without a section, I'm just detained?
Yes, you are, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am sure.
What's your calling number for me?
There's my calling number.
18241. Cheers, brother. There you go.
Much. I appreciate that.
No worries.
In 20 years of policing, mate.
You've messed up, not me, mate. You know this, and your colleague knows as well.
I disagree entirely.
No, your colleague knows as well, so he's laughing.
I disagree entirely.
I know, dude. I know. Don't worry about it.
That's fine.
We all make mistakes, my friend.
It's
section 43, I think.
The officer introduces the issue of private property, suggesting the auditor may not have permission to be there. The auditor correctly points out that he has not been asked to leave by the landowner. In UK law, trespass is a civil matter, not a criminal offense, unless it becomes aggravated trespass. Police officers do not have automatic authority to enforce private land policies unless a crime is taking place, making this justification legally.
Are you registered at this address? Because it's an offence not to have the correct address on your driving licence. Are you registered at that address?
It's an offence to drive with it, but
It's an offence to have the wrong address on your driving licence.
what do you mean registered at the address?
Basically, do you live
at that address?
Yeah, sometimes. You know, mate.
I'm not going to take on any further, but you know what you're doing.
I know.
What I will confirm with Manchester City is they're going to get your photo on their club cameras as well.
I don't care. I don't follow football. It's for these kind of people. I don't follow football. Don't follow football. Not remotely interested, honestly. Do your worst. Tell the SAS.
It's frozen, so you have to bear with me for the moment, okay?
Critical procedural failure occurs when the officer pulls out his phone to consult the police national legal database while the auditor is already detained. This is deeply problematic. A police officer must know the legal power they are using before depriving someone of their liberty. Detaining a citizen first and then researching the law afterwards strongly suggests that detention is unlawful from that point onward.
You've referenced that. I've not given you my full grounds, but what I have told you is I've got enough grounds currently, based on your actions today and the evidence on my body-worn video, to suggest you're up to no good.
To suggest I'm up to no good?
If you've provided the fact that you're filming for a company and you've got permission
I'm not filming for a
here,
company.
You said you remember the press.
I'm freelance press. Anyone can be press. You can be press.
Yes, if you have a badge and ID.
No. You can consider yourself press. You can take photos. You're freelance.
I've spoken to many freelance press officers before, and they all have ID.
We're not required to carry identification in the UK. We are not required to carry any ID in the UK, whether we are a banker, a press photographer, or a footballer. You don't need to carry any ID. I promise you, sir.
I'm still frozen.
No worries.
So we're still here. Okay.
Still detained indefinitely. With no section. You can write it down. No problem.
The officer admits that he has not yet fully explained his grounds for the detention. Under Pace Code A, officers must clearly communicate the legal power, grounds, and object of the stop before proceeding. Several minutes into the interaction, none of these elements have been properly established. This prolonged uncertainty further undermines the proportionality and legality of the detention. The interaction shifts toward identification, with the officer asking for ID and questioning the auditor's address. In the UK, there is no general requirement to carry identification or provide it to police unless specific legislation applies, such as Section 50 of the Police Reform Act or during a traffic stop. The officer appears to be using counterterrorism legislation as leverage to obtain personal details, a practice commonly described as phishing.
There we go, we're on. System's working. Submission when I go back to the station, okay?
The officer questions the auditor's claim of being press, suggesting that without a press badge or ID, he cannot be considered a journalist. This is legally incorrect. The UK does not license journalists, and freelance or citizen journalists are not required to carry identification. Anyone engaged in gathering information or filming can lawfully consider themselves press, regardless of accreditation.
Shame you didn't do one of these against Salman Abedi.
Again, it's really
nothing to do with you. Nothing. I get it.
If that's how you feel, mate, that's how you feel.
No worries.
It's okay.
You know I'm not a terrorist. I know I'm not a terrorist. She knows I'm not a terrorist. He knows I'm not a terrorist because he's seen me all day filming football fans, and he knows I'm press.
I know you're not up to no good, mate.
You know I'm up to no good. You know for a fact.
Yeah, you're trying to mouth off and one about the Manchester bomb and be disrespectful to what I do.
What? What am I doing that's up to no good?
You're filming in a private area, large groups of public, entering an iconic site.
You're allowed to access this until you're asked to leave.
Right.
Trespass is a civil matter. It's not illegal.
Yeah. You're trying to question every ground I've
Of course I am, because I have civil rights, and the second I give them up, I'll lose them. You're the one being unlawful here, not me.
The mention of submitting an intelligence report reveals the likely motivation behind the stop. Rather than addressing an immediate security threat, the officer appears focused on collecting data. If the officer genuinely believed the auditor posed a terrorist risk, the response would involve immediate control measures and a prompt search. Instead, the relaxed body language and prolonged questioning contradict the seriousness of the power being claimed.
I haven't quoted the section or the provision.
This is a stop and account.
Yeah.
Have I laid a finger on you?
You've detained me.
Have I laid a finger on you?
That is an assault because you've detained me unlawfully. You know it's an assault. You don't have to touch someone for an assault. You know that. You're a cop. You know that. This is an unlawful stop search. £500 per hour, sir. You know.
That's an opinion from yourself.
No, it's fact, case law. I've done it a few times.
Very well.
No worries, it's going on. Right.
You'll notice that's not speeding up my process. I'm doing my job now, okay?
Don't worry, dude. If it goes over an hour, it'll be season. You know what unlawful detention looks like. You know what it looks like.
Mate, I understand my powers, I understand my grounds, okay?
You haven't given reasonable grounds for a terrorist search. You haven't given any grounds.
I've told you what I...
The officer references the Manchester bombing to justify heightened suspicion. While such events understandably influence security awareness, they do not suspend civil liberties or lower legal thresholds. Emotional arguments cannot replace lawful grounds. The auditor correctly maintains that being sarcastic, challenging police authority, or filming in public is not a criminal offense.
What's your current address? We've got 2 addresses on the system for you.
What address have you got, and I'll confirm it?
We've got this one, and we've got an address.
Just put that one.
That one. Okay. So you're living there at the moment.
Sometimes, yeah. I'm a vulnerable adult with mental health conditions. I live at separate addresses, and I'm under the care of separate people.
Okay. What mental health conditions have you got?
Paranoid schizophrenia.
Right. Do you wish to share how you're feeling at the moment?
Fine.
Need any support? Do you need any support?
No.
Okay.
I'm on medication.
Yeah.
I'm under a mental health
Have you got a casework? Have you got a care work?
Yep.
Do you need me to speak to them at all?
No.
You
Fine.
sure?
Absolutely fine.
Okay.
I was
based on what
perfectly
you've said
enjoying
now,
myself.
based on what you've said,
Yep.
I've got a duty of care to make sure that you either get home safe or I speak to a care worker to confirm.
I'm trying to get home. I was just going over, just as you approached
Are
me.
you with the chap on the bike?
Just as you approached me, yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't like you to disclose any of my personal medical...
A notable shift occurs when the auditor discloses that he is a vulnerable adult with mental health considerations. The officer's tone softens, and the conversation moves toward duty of care. While this response is more humane, it also suggests the officer is seeking a way to de-escalate without acknowledging procedural errors. There's a fine line between genuine safeguarding and using welfare concerns as an exit strategy. Clip
I was
12.
just
All
literally
we need to know is you're going
changing
with
the
him.
battery and going home until you unlawfully detain me here.
That's your opinion.
I know it is.
Okay.
We're not going to
You've got
get any
somebody to
further
go
out.
home with.
I'm
Well-
perfectly able to go home. Promise you. Promise you that.
Okay. Right, thank you very much. I'm going to ask you to leave the area now, okay?
Sorry?
Can ask you to leave the area to the gate, and then that's public land.
I'm going home anyway. That was my plan. Just as I was changing the battery, I was going home.
If you'd have said that as we'd have spoken to you, perhaps things would have been differently.
I did.
Okay.
See you in a bit.
Good night.
You too.
The encounter concludes with the officer asking the auditor to leave the area, despite no search ever being conducted. This final detail is crucial. The officer claimed detention under counterterrorism powers, but never carried out the search those powers exist for. This confirms that the stop was not about preventing terrorism, but about control, identification, and removal. The interaction ends as a clear example of poor procedure, misuse of legal powers, and the very type of conduct that police auditing seeks to expose.